deep-sea monster emerges after 2 million years in hiding, along with 8 other mysterious discoveries that shocked the world. Welcome to the mysterious universe. Dear friend, when scientists discover lands isolated from the outside world, that was also when they discovered more previously unknown creatures. Those are creatures lurking in the shadows, deep within the dense forests, at the bottom of the planet's deepest lakes, or even beneath the vast ocean depths. They suddenly appeared in an inexplicable way, then mysteriously vanished as if nothing had ever happened. The witnesses remained silent in fear, offering no clues to the investigators. The tale of them, those mysterious creatures, still lingers and haunts the human imagination to this very day. Let's explore the mysterious universe and its enigmatic creatures in today's special video. The manta ray was found on a beach in New York State. This creature has a bird-like head but possesses teeth on its lower jaw. Its body looks like a dog. Since their discovery, the origin of manta rays has remained an unsolved mystery to the scientific community. Some people believe manta looks like a panda because it is sick, which explains this appearance. The animal lost all its fur and its entire upper jaw. However, this hypothesis faces opposition from many people because they believe that its legs are significantly shorter than the manta monster. Meanwhile, quite a few people remarked that it somewhat resembled a hairless dog with strong jaws and what appeared to be a beak. A woman claims to have captured the first photo of a mysterious creature on Manta Beach on July 12, she says. She didn't even know what to call it. The villagers of Bo now had all kinds of opinions. Everyone had their own take. As a dog, others claim it. But the hypothesis that it was a dog based on its beak seems to have the most support. However, there was initially a hypothesis that the manta monster image was simply a playful prank. The passage is part of an advertising campaign for a new American animation channel. It is still unclear what happened to the killer of the manta monster. Actually, to this day, no one really knows what kind of monster this truly is. Recently, researchers from Louisiana State University, Baton Rouge, USA, announced new findings about a mysterious fish species. Known as the sea monster or the giant ocean current, the turbid flow impresses with its massive size. From 2008 to 2011, scientists recorded footage of the mysterious oarfish in the Gulf of Mexico 5 times. So far, oarfish have only been found entangled in fishermen's nets or washed up dead on shore. Therefore, this is considered the first footage capturing images of oarfish while they were still alive. The oarfish, also known as the king of herring, is the world's largest bony fish. They can reach lengths of up to 15 meters and weigh around 270 kilograms. With its slender, axe blade-like body, locals call it the axefish. Scientists have determined that this giant fish species typically inhabits depths ranging from 200 to 1,000 meters beneath the ocean. According to Mr. Dove Oken, the port director, the oarfish in the video was only about 2.5 meters long. The body has silver-tinged veins interspersed with light brownish-pink and greenish spots, while the back is covered in reddish-pink scales. Additionally, it is believed that this species of fish may be blind. This phenomenon is considered distinct compared to other marine species that also inhabit the deep ocean environment, such as oarfish. Since 1772, when the world's first oarfish was discovered, there have been numerous recorded sightings. In 1996, American sailors caught a giant oarfish measuring 7 meters long in the waters of Bangkari Phokia, adding further evidence of the existence of this legendary fish species. In February 2022, another 4.5-meter-long oarfish also washed ashore on Japan's Kashiwajima Island. Through this research, the scientists hope their work will make a significant contribution to the journey of exploring the mysterious ocean, particularly the mentioned oarfish species. The sea monster had been imprisoned in the stone coffin for 170 million years. Experts at the National Museum of Scotland have successfully unearthed a 170-million-year-old fossil of a giant sea monster, once a fearsome predator of the ocean depths. With its massive body, measuring about 4 meters long, a long, pointed snout, and hundreds of sharp teeth, this creature seemed to have emerged from an ancient, colossal stone. Dubbed the Loch Ness Monster, this fossilized skeleton is perfectly preserved in the rock layer. An amateur archaeologist discovered the stone axe on a beach in the Isle of Skye around 50 years ago and later donated it to the National Museum of Scotland. This is a species of reptile belonging to the ichthyosaur family, also known as fish lizards. They went extinct before the age of dinosaurs and were replaced by modern dolphins and whales. According to reports, the museum had carefully preserved this fossil for half a century but lacked the expertise to extract it from the thick surrounding rock or conduct detailed research. But Bruce Satt, a paleontologist at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, said that possibility could very well happen. And they discovered that this skeleton is the most complete marine reptile fossil ever excavated in Scotland. Earlier this year, scientists announced that climate change had driven the ichthyosaur to extinction after 157 million years of ruling the oceans. However, according to Bruce Satt, this creature makes an even stronger impression than the Loch Ness monster. Few people know that giant sea creatures once truly existed. They are bigger, scarier, and even more fascinating than the legendary Loch Ness monster. This new fossil is one such piece of evidence, having existed in Scotland around 170 million years ago. The complete fossil of this divine fish will help scientists better understand its period of dominance as well as the reasons behind the sudden extinction of this mysterious creature. The Tasman Lake Monster. Divers have just captured footage of a massive and bizarre sea creature in the waters off the coast of Tasmania, Australia. Unicorn of the sea. They can grow up to 30 meters long, equivalent to the length of 2 double-decker buses. The phaedrosaur has a hollow and transparent body, with a cylindrical form composed of thousands of druids, a unisexual species. The druids use their trunks to suck in water, absorbing the plankton, and then expel the remaining water. Each druid is only a few millimeters small. They connect through tissue and move as a unified mass inside phaedrosaur's body. Phaedrosaur has a long trunk and a mouth about 2 meters wide. The phaedrosaur species typically swims freely and inhabits the deep offshore waters. Therefore, they almost never appear, and only skilled hunters have a chance to encounter them. Rebecca Hempf, a researcher from Detronil magazine, said, "They are giant creatures with bizarre shapes, often appearing in deep fissure zones. They move slowly with slender, supple, and fragile bodies." Fiji mermaid. When it comes to mermaids, everyone imagines a maiden with the upper body of a human. Its lower half is a fish tail and fins. She has a slender, delicate figure and a beautiful, princess-like face. And possesses a sweet voice that easily touches the hearts of listeners. However, that is merely an imaginary character conjured up by people. To this day, scientists still cannot definitively confirm whether mermaids are real or not. However, countless rumors and unclear evidence about this half-human, half-fish hybrid creature have emerged. The mermaid is the story of an unusually beautiful mermaid who once caused a sensation worldwide. This creature is called the Fiji mermaid, with the upper body and head of a monkey attached to a fish's tail. To this day, the story of this bizarre creature is still frequently mentioned in many scientific journals. In 1842, Phineas Thayer Barnum, an American businessman and exhibition organizer, displayed it at Barnum's American Museum in New York City. The bizarre tale of this creature has drawn crowds of tourists to visit, thereby generating substantial profits for Phineas and making the museum increasingly famous. Specifically, the story of the Fiji mermaid in America began in mid-July 1842, when a man named Griffin discovered her. He claimed to be a member of the British Natural History High School in New York. Rumor has it that Griffin himself brought along a mermaid allegedly captured near the Fiji Islands in the South Pacific. Reporters from various newspapers flocked one after another to the hotel where Griffin was staying, demanding to see the mermaid with their own eyes. When he quickly showed them the strange creature he was carrying, they were convinced it was real. Not long after, Phineas Thayer Barnum personally visited the offices of major newspapers in New York to spread the rumor that the passage describes mermaids with an enchanting allure. Before long, Griffin's Fiji mermaid had become the hottest topic of conversation across all of New York at the time. Finally, Griffin agreed to display his mermaid for a week at the concert hall on Broadway. The week-long exhibition made a huge impact, leading Griffin to agree to display his treasure in New York. over a longer period, specifically 1 month. Besides exhibiting, Griffin also performed circus acts to entertain the crowd who came to see the mermaid. In there, it looked so strange, both fierce and terrifying. Some say the Fiji mermaid is actually just the upper half of a small monkey stitched onto a fish's tail. The creature's hair was tightly curled and matted, like that of a 100-year-old woman, but the most striking feature was its emaciated, skeletal body and the stiff, dangling tail behind it. The researchers confirmed that Phineas was not the creator of the Fiji mermaid, but that this creature originated from Asia. This showman merely purchased it from local people beforehand. Ogopogo is the name of a legendary cryptid, often referred to as the Canadian version of the Loch Ness Monster. Rumors about Ogopogo started spreading about 3 weeks ago, when several groups of tourists claimed to have seen the legendary monster with their own eyes. On September 12, David Hauebauer, along with his brother and family, was picnicking by the lake when they suddenly spotted a strange creature. Hauebauer recounted that while sitting by the lake, they suddenly spotted a strange black creature about 15 meters long, resembling a giant snake swimming on the water's surface. Notably, following David Hauebauer's account, 2 other groups of tourists also confirmed seeing a similar strange creature as he described. According to Indian legend, the Ogopogo monster often appears on the lake's surface after storms pass by. Previously, many believed that this sea monster first appeared in 1972. Some witnesses who have encountered the Ogopogo monster describe it as having a large, undulating body with a raised head resembling that of a horse. Bill Stacy, a resident of the nearby city of Kroner, shared that he had seen the Ogopogo monster twice, in 1987 and 2015. Notably, in 2015, Bill Stacy once spotted a snake-headed creature at a distance of only about 150 meters. The man quickly grabbed the camera and captured an image of a strange round object. He believes that the photo is an image of the Ogopogo monster. Bill Stacy has spent a great deal of time researching and hunting the legendary monster, but so far, there have been no clear results. However, Bill Stacy created his own website to write about the Ogopogo legend because he firmly believed that in Lake Okon, dozens of mysterious creatures live undetected by humans. Macarons, the terrifying legendary monster. Macarons are often described as zombie-like humanoid creatures that survive by sucking the blood of humans or animals. They possess supernatural strength and strange transformative abilities. Some cultures have legends about macarons that are unrelated to their appearance from the side of the deceased. For example, the kai plant are certain animal species like flies, dogs, and spiders. People often say that macarons have an irresistible charm, with diverse flavors and an ever-changing appearance. And this is one of the recurring themes in folklore, cinema, and contemporary science fiction. Stories of bloodthirsty assassins from ancient times share striking similarities across the world. Macarons are like the spirit named Riru mentioned in Babylonian magical studies. And Akaru, the bloodthirsty one from Sumerian legend. It is said that those female monkeys often wander for hours in the darkness. The villagers hunt down and kill newborn babies and pregnant women. In an ancient legend, the goddess Igub Sekirme became bloodthirsty after nearly giving birth to a few humans. And only felt satisfied after drinking strong liquor mixed with blood. In the hands of the traveler, even the primordial stone is soaked in human blood. With such a nature, one might liken her to the queen of macarons. The bone spirit is a monster born from a pile of dried bones, nourished by the essence of heaven and earth and the light of the sun and moon until it gained sentience. Moreover, in Homer's Odyssey the spirits Odysseus encounters on his journey through the underworld are all drawn to the fresh blood of the sacrificed ram. In fairy tales, there is Murta Strig, a nocturnal bird that feeds on the fresh blood of humans. Gradually, in Europe, stories spread about a blood-sucking vampire species called macarons, known in French as vampire. Many stories about macarons sound eerie, like the tale of a long-dead cruel butcher. Night after night, he would rise again, calling out the names of those he knew before draining their blood to death. Macaron worshippers are fanatics, much like those who superstitiously believe in drinking fresh animal blood. People often think that vampires mainly bite their victims' necks to suck blood from the arteries. In folklore, there is often a belief in creatures that possess supernatural powers through the act of drinking human blood. The practice of bloodlust-driven cannibalism was once employed as a psychological tactic to instill terror in enemies, while also reflecting extreme fanaticism in certain cultural contexts. By the 19th century, the story of the macaron appeared more frequently and became a widely discussed topic. Most notably in Bram Stoker's Dracula *. A defining trait of vampires is their intense craving for blood. At night, it often appears in the form of a bat, a fox, or a pitch-black cloud. Fly to the window or door, knock to ask for entry. If the victim in the dream doesn't wake up in time to realize, they will open the door and then also turn into a macaron. Notably, all these victims had a close connection to the original macarons, meaning they could sense and identify the origin of fire. In books, films, and TV shows, macarons are often portrayed as an extremely intricate and difficult to make pastry. According to legend, every macaron was once a human, until they were attacked by a cruel old sorcerer and transformed into these sweet pastries. Dead and then reborn from the grave, transformed into a terrifying blood-sucking demon. However, vampires still have some weaknesses. They can be destroyed by a wooden stake through the heart or by fire. They will die if beheaded or exposed to sunlight, and are deeply afraid of crosses, holy water, and garlic. Macarons do not possess any supernatural form or power. Their images are creatively diverse, depending on the rich imagination of people. In the latter half of the 20th century, an increasing number of researchers specializing in macarons emerged. In 1963, British Dr. Raya Ritz published a research book on pathologies related to the phenomenon commonly known as macarons. In the work, he provided a detailed analysis based on collected documents, recording the macarons phenomena as recounted by direct witnesses. According to Dr. Sire, although these phenomena remain largely mysterious, they may be linked to certain genetic diseases such as porphyria and other hormonal disorders. This is an extremely rare disease. Those affected typically exhibit photophobia and constantly seek to hide in the dark, as exposure to light causes them discomfort. They may have to endure painful injuries as the cropin in their blood breaks down under the effects of fatal wounds. The patient faces hormonal disorders, leading to the condition of fingernails and toenails growing long and curling. Scales sprouted all over the body, while the skin around the lips and gums thinned and shrank, exposing the teeth like sharp fangs. Because the skin and gums are damaged, the patient is very prone to bleeding in the mouth. The image of blood-sucking mosquitoes has become haunting in many people's minds, largely due to this disease. Today, porphyria disease can be treated much more easily compared to genetic modification methods. Many years ago, this was one of the most feared diseases for humankind. Explanations still couldn't, and the truth about macarons remains a mystery not yet fully unraveled by science. In early September, the American entertainment industry mogul, Chum, offered a $50,000 reward for anyone who could capture the Chamberlain Lake monster and bring it to him, after 3 years of pursuit. To this day, no one has claimed that money. Kem Bo. Meanwhile, around 300 cases have been recorded so far of people seeing and capturing images of Kem. The first recorded appearance of Kem was in 1609, when French explorer Samuel de Chamberlain observed the phenomenon emerging from the surface of the lake. However, before the founder of Quebec City in Canada had that opportunity, the chestnut tree had already appeared in the oral traditions of two indigenous tribes, the Iroquois and the Abenaki. By 1883, this incident once again stirred public attention when Police Chief Nathan Mooney openly recounted his story. According to Mooney, the monster suddenly surfaced just about 45 meters from where he stood on the shore. It was approximately 7.5 to 9 meters long, with a ring of white spots inside its mouth. More than 90 years later, Chandra Manji, along with her ex-husband Anthony Manji and her 2 children from a previous marriage, drove along Lake Champlain to enjoy the scenery. By noon, they stopped the car by a slope. The 2 kids went down to the lake to play, while Anthony went back to the car to get the camera. Chandra was at school with the kids when suddenly, The water's surface about 45 meters from the shore began churning violently. First, she saw a head emerge, then a neck, and finally the entire back. According to Chandra, the part of the monster visible above the water was about 1.8 meters tall, while its entire body measured between 3.6 and 4.5 meters in length. The photo taken by Chandra in 1997 and released in 2002 shows that Cham bears a striking resemblance to Nessie, the famous Loch Ness monster in Scotland. Some believe that Cham is actually Charlong, the snake-headed lizard that once ruled the oceans during the Mesozoic era. The experiment was conducted right at the location where Chandra took the photo, using the very same Kodak Instamatic camera with a 110mm focal length that Chandra had used. The captured image is completely identical to the photo Cham had released to Chandra. However, what raises suspicion is that in the emerging Cham area, the water depth is only about 4.3 meters. A question arises as to whether a giant creature like Cham, as described by Chandra, could easily surface and then submerge in that location. Additionally, Chandra could not provide the negative of the Cham photo nor any other photos printed from the same film roll. Many believe that the monster in Chandra's photo is actually just a floating log, which partially rotted, surfaced on the water, and then sank again. However, this is merely speculation. In reality, whether this mysterious creature truly exists or not remains unanswered to this day. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to always stay updated with the latest exciting videos. That's it for our video. Goodbye, everyone, and see you next time.